Many times, people start out all enthusiastically on their self-improvement journey. For a few days, they are extremely motivated and try to change as many things at once as possible. After usually less than 3 weeks, all the initial momentum is used up and they are left without any drive for quite some time. And at that time, a lot of inexperienced trainees give up and return to old behavioral patterns. Today, we analyze why people give up and what can be done about it. But first, I like to present the rule of the 3, and it goes as follows. After 3 days, the initial motivation and glamour of the new skill or habit die off, and the new habit is a new normal. We become disenchanted with it. After 3 weeks, the time commitment and work become very apparent and you want to do other, more shiny things. And there are a lot of people that jump between new habits or new video games or new things in general all the time because of pretty much this effect. After 3 months, the first real benefits and advantages of pursuing the good habit arise and you can realize your own progress. And after 3 years, people who haven't seen you in a while might be amazed by the difference the pursuing of the new habit might make. After 3 years, there is no doubt of the benefits of the new practice if you have been at it consistently. This goes for any new habit really. If you know a few people who frequently start new things and don't commit often, you will know what I mean. First, there is euphoria, then disenchantment, then stopping, and then the prior status quo. This goes for losing weight, for hard video games, for lifting, for meditation, and pretty much everything that requires some work, some effort, some willpower, some discipline, or any of those skills really. But what is the reason for all this giving up really? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the difference between expectations and reality. Most people want easy and fast progress, but that is against the law of slow change that our universe has to abide by, and we all are part of the universe, so we all have to change somewhat slowly. They want too much at once, and that leads to inadaptable progress, frustration, and finally giving up. Others use limited resources like self-hate or willpower or motivation as fuel, and when that happens, they also have a problem. Well, by the very definition, those resources are limited, and any limited resource will run out at some point. And when that happens, well, all the motivation and the pursuing of the new habit are gone. And all those things are rooted in our species' evolutionary past. We all have an energy conservation drive, and will only do what is absolutely necessary to have a somewhat comfortable life. If your lizard brain convinces itself that something is not necessary for survival, doing it will be very hard. And we have to be smart about introducing the new practice. We like to take the path of the least resistance and avoid doing things that involve sacrifices, even if they bring certain future benefits and results. In a sense, our minds are somewhat greedy. What happened now was always important. The future is pretty uncertain, and there are many possible futures of which only one will definitely be there. However, that problem is as old as humankind, as you can imagine, and there are ways to deal with it. Most success advice tackles part of that problem. To avoid disappointment and disenchantment, you should have realistic expectations. To avoid burnout, do things slowly and consistently, so your brain won't rebel and resources won't run out. In a sense, you want to have the new habit go under the radar of the brain. It shouldn't even realize that you changed something. And do enough to avoid frustration due to the lack of results, but little enough to avoid startling your energy conservation drive. That is pretty much the trick. You want to be in the golden middle interval where there is some resistance, some effort required, but not too much. Okay, but now let us come to the most important points. Many people start their self-improvement journey or their new habits all enthusiastically, but give up soon. This is due to our energy conservation drive and the evolutionary nature of all creatures in general. To avoid this, we have to outsmart our natural inclination. When we know how we work, we can work around those pitfalls. Try to work with your evolutionary programming and do things slowly, without too many expectations, and try to be very consistent and patient. Try to aim for the territory where it is just slightly uncomfortable. Some people like to call it the flow area. And that is where lasting progress is achieved. Don't overburden yourself, but also there has to be quite some challenge, otherwise nothing will change. Adaptation requires a strong enough stimulus. Okay, and that is pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave it a thumbs up, so I know to produce more of this style of content in the future. However, if you feel like I missed something, please let me know in the comment section, so that other people, and especially I, can benefit from your wisdom. But until then, I wish you a pleasant day, and goodbye.